Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, GHA family and friends. We are back with another homework helper, and this is for 6th grade. This is the last lesson of Module 1, Lesson 29. We've already celebrated if you're in my class because we've broken into Module 2 already. So I'm going to go over this problem set with you. I cannot solve it for you because it's only 3 problems. So I'm going to set it up and you can do the rest. So I'll read the directions for number 1. Number 1 says, Henry has 15 lawns mowed out of a total of 60 lawns. So what percent of the lawns does he still have left to mow? All right. So we still need to set it up. Normally, we put our smaller number inside of the box when we divide, okay? So we got 15. That's how many was completed out of 60. So we put it backwards, okay? Now, how many times does 60 go into 15? It cannot. So we got to put a decimal and a 0. Now this number looks like 150. So how many times does 60 go into 150? Twice. And 60 times 2 gives us 120. So we can subtract. All right. You all set that up and you can find the percentage. Okay. After you find the percentage, you need to, this is not completed. When you find this whole quotient, you're going to subtract it from 100%, okay? And that is going to be the answer to your question. They want to know how much percent of the lawns still need to be mowed, okay? Still need to be mowed, not how many was mowed, okay? All right, let's start on number 2. Number 2. It says, Marissa got an 85% on her math quiz, and she had 34 questions correct. So how many questions were on the quiz? Well, this is a classic one. We've done this one already. So we're going to put our 85 as a percent, as a fraction, okay? So 85 over what, class? 100, okay? And we know that the 85% is equal to 34 questions. All right. And that's how we're going to find the total. But can we go from 85 to 34? No, we can't. Those numbers are not, they're not equal. They don't have anything in common, okay? So what we need to do is simplify our percent fraction, okay? So we take our 85 over 100, and we're going to figure out how to simplify. So what do these numbers have in common? And you're going to divide to get a smaller fraction, okay? Actually, you're going to get the fraction into lowest terms for this one. So you could have a fraction that's equal, but if it's not in lowest terms, it's not going to help you get to this 34 right here, okay? All right. Now moving on to number 3. This one is the easiest one of them all. This is the first part of percentages, okay? So it says Lucas read 30% of his book that contains 480 pages. So it says, what page is he going to read next? So it sounds tricky, but it's not that tricky. We know that the book is 480 pages and he's already read 30%. So now we're working with decimals as percents, okay? So we have 480 pages. Now we need to multiply, but what are we going to multiply by? 30%, right? And if 30% is out of 100, then we know that the 0 needs to fall in the hundredths place as we write it as a decimal. So nothing here, decimal. Tenths place goes to 3. And in the hundredths place goes to 0. That's how you write 30% as a decimal out of 100. So we're going to multiply by 0.30. I'll start you off. What's the rule? Everything times 0 is 0. 0. 8 times 0 is 0. And 0 times 4 is 0. And then we need a 0 spacer. And we can move on to the 3. So now you can go ahead and finish. 3 times 0, 3 times 8, and 3 times 4. Add those up, and there's your answer. So when you find your answer, that is going to be the page number that Lucas is on. And so they want to know what is the next page after that. So when you find this answer, you're going to go to the next page, whatever number that is, okay? All right. Have a good evening.